it's Kayla, and today I am going to be talking about how mental illness led to addiction for me, and in doing so, stressing the major part mental illness can play in addiction. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to stress that this is a common occurrence, and if you are going through this or something similar, to understand that you are not alone, because when it comes to mental illness, as we know, feeling that you are alone is awful and it is scary, and that actually is one of the major reasons why I became an addict. So for those of you who don't know, my drug of choice was alcohol, and I really liked to drink, man. I really loved to drink. It was the best thing in the world, and I believe it started because it took my anxiety away. Like, I'd feel so anxious when I walk into a place where there's a lot of people, and when I have a few drinks, I would feel fine, and I would be confident, and I would become this person that I want to be. But then when that wears off, I became the person that I absolutely hated. I was the most awful person in the world when I drank. Now, in my entire I don't know if you can say career of being an addict, only one person ever told me that this person was like, straight up, Kayla, when you drink, you're an asshole. And I never ever thought about it that way. Like, obviously, when you wake up the next morning and you're like, so what happened yesterday? And somebody tells you, and you're like, oh, whatever. But now that I look at it from an outside perspective, I'm like looking back at my whole life at that point, and I was like, whoa, what a dick, like, it is crazy. And so why I think this whole thing started is because in school, now I am in the process of making a Why I Hated High School video, so that is coming too. But for now, I had, just a synopsis, I had a very shitty high school career, and it was all due to my anxiety. Depression didn't really play a major role. I mean, the depression would kick in when I get home after school, so I'd think about my day and then get depressed because it sucked. And so I was really shy. I really hated being spoken to. Literally, my goal was to get through the day, get home, so that I can be alone with my thoughts and with my feelings of inferiority. I felt for some reason that I am confronted with my feelings of inferiority every single time I go to school. So I'd end up feeling really bad about myself, and I don't really know why. I think it mainly was because I felt I was ugly, and I really didn't have any self-esteem. Um, but anyway, so the buildup of anxiety during the day would just feel like that release when you have a drink. You would literally feel your body going, "Husa." The stress is just gone, and obviously you want more of that. So you keep drinking and you keep drinking and you keep drinking until eventually you can't even stand on your 2 feet. But it's fine because you're not anxious anymore. And the biggest thing, for me at least, was to not feel anxious. So I didn't give a shit what anyone thought of me. I didn't care who I hurt or the image I was portraying for not only myself but the people I was with at that time, because you know that you get associated with your crowd, and my family must have been like, oh my god, who is this person? Because I'd become so angry, and I became angry because of the all these held up feelings of inferiority, and I was angry at myself, and I was angry at the world, I was angry at my school, and it was just, this all would surface at a certain point of being drunk. So the first hour or so is lacquer, but then afterwards it just goes downhill, and I became a disgusting person. And I don't think I would ever forget that. I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself for most of the things I've done, because it really inflicted harm on people. It's like, be it bad mouthing people, to saying something that really might hurt their feelings. And as a person, as a sober person, I'm not that person. I am not someone who likes to hurt people. But it was basically, it was like a Jekyll and Hyde situation, and it it only got worse. Like, I never thought it was a problem, but of course, addicts are, most of the time, they are in denial, and I was in denial like crazy. I thought I was entitled to it. I thought that my viewpoint basically was, okay, so you make me feel like shit, so now I'm going to do things to make myself feel better, and whether you like it or not, I am going to do that, and screw you if you don't like it. And to a certain degree, that viewpoint is good, but not if you're going to hurt someone, or have fun, or make yourself feel better at the expense of someone. So mental illness, anxiety, depression, suicide, phobias, etc., are symptoms of inferiority feelings. It is the smoke that covers the fire of inferiority feelings, and these ugly, nasty, sad, really, feelings could manifest in certain ways, and more often than not, it manifests in the form of addiction, and then you begin to live out the person you want to be in your addiction. But it doesn't always go as planned. Like I said, you turn around and you become the complete opposite of what you are. And there are people that I've lost, like, permanently. I don't think they'll ever talk to me again in my life for as long as I live. And I don't blame them, because I wouldn't. I mean, if I look back at the person I became, I wouldn't even want to, like, even the mention of my name would disgust me and bring back all these negative emotions. And it's okay, because I 100%, I cannot blame them, and I do not blame them, and I do not resent them for it. I actually, as a matter of fact, I cannot apologize enough, because apologies does not take back what you did and what you said. And that is a big thing that people don't realize. Like, a lot of people feel that you can do the meanest thing and you can just say, I'm sorry, and that'll make it okay. But people, especially me, like, I remember every single negative thing ever said to me, and I will never forget it. And people are like that. And it's just in our nature. I think it's as a form of protection, to make that association in your brain, like, this person hurt me, so no, I'm withdrawing myself from that person completely. So yeah, but it is very easy for a mental illness and essentially feelings of inferiority to manifest in addiction, because it changes the way that you feel, whether it is alcohol or drugs or whatever. It changes the way that you feel, and it makes you feel good about yourself. So it is really, really, it's like in a matter, it happens overnight. Like, you'll wake up one morning and you'll be like, how the fuck did I get to this point? How is this my life? And that is actually what happened to me. So if you have this experience, if you know somebody who went through this experience, let me know and tell me if it is helpful to feel that you can relate to somebody and that you are not alone. So yeah, I will see you in my why I hated high school video.